Counselor to President Trump, Alina Habba, is here. So, Alina, are all of these people putting together their 5 bullet points tonight?
I had a hard time putting it into 5, so I'm not sure why it was such an issue.
Oh my God, I swear I hate these people. So you guys all know about what's going on with Elon Musk deciding to, request from all federal employees a list of 5 bullet points telling him what they accomplished the last week. And of course, Alina Habba's like, oh, it was so hard for me to just even break it down to 5. I mean, I do so much, And I'm going to show you the video of her actually answering the question specifically on the 5 things that she did. And of course, she didn't do anything. But first, let's talk about all of the different agencies that have basically come out and say they're not doing it. Like all of the heads of their agencies sent out emails to them saying, you don't need to do this. We're not answering to Elon Musk. And these are other people who were appointed by Donald Trump. So they're like, screw that dude, right? So now they're backtracking. Donald Trump and Elon Musk are backtracking, and it's no longer required of any of these federal employees to actually, produce these lists. It's now just a suggestion, and if they don't do it, they won't be fired, even though Donald Trump said something like they'll be semi-fired. What the hell is semi-fired? You either work at the place or you don't work at the place. You're either fired or you're not fired. But of course, Sean Duffy, Donald Trump's transportation secretary, because that guy doesn't deserve the job he has. He's all for it. All these people should easily be able to name the 5 things they accomplished last week. If they can't name that, maybe they shouldn't be working for the government. I mean, this guy is the biggest bootlicker for Donald Trump in his entire cabinet because he realizes he doesn't deserve the job he has.
I have no problem with the employees here saying, what did you do last week? And if you can't come up with 5 things that you did, maybe you shouldn't be employed here. So again, this is an easy task. It happens in the private sector all the time. And so I wanted our employees to actually engage and talk about what they did. And I think this whole movement, Bill, is potentially going to make people go, I'm going to come to work earlier. I'm going to stay later. I'm going to look at what Donald Trump wants me to accomplish because he won the election. And I'm going to fight and work to make sure I help him accomplish that because I'm a public servant. I don't work for a party or a union or a think tank. I actually work for the president.
And that president is Elon Musk. But actually, they don't work for the president. They work for the American people. But you know what's crazy? Is that they're answering to an unelected billionaire foreigner. But the most hilarious part about all of this is that he says this movement will make people want to show up early and stay late. How in the hell does someone demanding that you justify your job make you want to do more for that company? Like if these people were really on top of things, they wouldn't need anyone to make a list. They would be able to tell that tasks were being done. But as someone who has worked very hard at my job every single day, I will tell you this. If someone from the outside who's never worked in my company, never done my position, came in and started looking through my stuff and asking me to justify my job, when I've been getting great reviews from the people who've actually watched me for the last 20 years, I'd be pissed. And the last thing I would want to do is work harder for these people. I would be asking myself, why in the hell is this outsider coming in here telling me what to do? And that is why so many of them aren't even doing it. And that's why Donald Trump and Elon Musk are now backing off of it. But let's go back to Alina Habba because this is hilarious. Let's listen to her tell us exactly what she did in those last few weeks and why it was so hard for her to only write 5 things. And according to her, she wrote pages for them.
What was one of Alina Habba's bullet points from last week's list of accomplishments?
Well, I think my biggest bullet point is top secret, so I can't say it, but I can tell you that I did things from speaking to people in the Middle East to child trafficking to making sure our country is better. And at the end of the day, I worked my butt off because that's what I committed to do when I took this job. And if you can't answer something like that with 5, I truly could not put it in 5. I mean, I probably had pages. If you can't answer it, that's a serious problem. And I don't want you working alongside of me, President Trump, or for the American people, because that's my taxpayer dollars too.
So her first bullet point is so top secret, she can't even say it. So yeah, let's mark that down as it doesn't exist and she's lying. Next, she says, I talked to people in the Middle East. Now listen, I don't even agree with people having to make these lists, but if one of your bullet points was, I talked to people in the Middle East, I don't feel like that satisfies you telling me what you did this week for the American people. You would need to be more specific, but of course, these people can't be specific because Alina Habba is Donald Trump's assistant to an assistant, so she really doesn't do a damn thing. Then she says child trafficking. I mean, I would have so many follow-up questions if I were in charge, and that was one of the answers that she gave. So far, she's done nothing. And her last bullet point was making sure our country is better. These are the best answers she could come up with when she probably was given the questions beforehand. Do you understand how much of nothing she did? Do you realize there was nothing specific about anything she did, and then she topped it off with, I worked my butt off? Imagine you being asked what you did for America last week at your job, and you said, I talked to some people in New York, I did some child trafficking, I made sure the country was better, and I worked my butt off. So she gave 4 things and not 5, and not one of those things mounted to anything. Elon Musk is a joke. Donald Trump is a joke. Sean Duffy is a joke. Alina Habba is a joke. And it all makes sense because they're running a party full of a bunch of jokes. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.